All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dids in the Dugout. Me and Hitch decided to go live tonight after this game one against LSU. Obviously, things didn't really go our way here, Hitch. If Riley Maddox, I thought looked really good the first two innings, but he kind of lost it. And everything beyond that, from a bullpen standpoint, we were really, really good. Talk about what you saw from Riley tonight, though it wasn't the start that we were expecting. Or it wasn't the start I was expecting at least from him.
Yeah, I mean, he started out. I think we texted back and forth, and it was almost like he's dealing. We both knew it was
Hmm.
too early, to say that, but he looked really good in that first inning. And I think in the bottom of the second, the second baseman had that ball that went through the right side there and scored the first run. Um, and it was almost like after once that happened, he got out of that inning, and there was that play there. I kind of want to talk about that in a minute, but I think in the bottom of the third, he just made a mistake pitch there to Tommy Tanks, and then another one to the very next batter. Something that we had talked about leading into the series. Don't let these guys beat you, and
Uh-huh.
it just kind of he ended up getting out of it with too much without getting hurt too bad. But in the bottom of the fourth, he just kind of unraveled. And we can kind of talk about it when we get there as we talk through the game. But I kind of saw the same thing you did. He looked really good. I think just like always, there are a couple of plays that a couple of maybe should be plays that weren't made, and that kind of led to his demise a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah. So there to start the game, he did a really good job of staying down in the zone. Honestly, the when Ole Miss came up to bat in the first inning, I was worried because they were not giving the LSU pitcher that low pitch to begin with, right? And
Yeah.
when I saw that in the first inning, I thought, oh shit! Now if that's going to be a thing for this game, then Riley's really in trouble. Turned out he did end up start giving that low pitch. The sweeper, the slider, looked like he had all three pitches going there for at least the first couple innings, but it kind of unraveled. Kind of like we talk about all the time, it really starts with a hit by pitch, right? As many hitters or batters as we hit this year, that kind of got things going a little bit for
Mm-hmm.
LSU. I do want to switch gears just a little bit. I know I started off with the pitching here. I think the story of this game was the fact that we were unable to string together any kind of hits offensively, right? If you look
Yeah.
at it, we only end up getting out hit 8-6, but getting beat 5-1. It's because we were so sporadic with runners getting on base, and that really ended up killing this Rebel offense.
Yeah, right there at the end of the game, they threw up the stat 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. That's
Yeah.
probably not going to win a lot of ball games for you, especially when you've got Gage Jump on the mound. Um, I know you said you started with pitching and you were going to, switch gears, but I don't think we are switching gears because the story of the game was pitching, but it just happened to be on the LSU side. Um,
Yeah.
Luckily for us, it didn't work out, but we had the delay and was able to get Gage Jump out of the game, but and
Hmm.
he had everybody in the lineup, I think, confused. Furness had a couple of hits off of him, but even he had an at bat where he just looked, out of sorts. Udermark hit the bomb, but in his first at bat, Gage Jump made him look silly a couple of times, and there were a couple of guys that just like Gage Jump would throw a strikeout pitch, and they just stood in the box like, whoa, where did that come from? And
Yeah.
you run into a buzzsaw like that, it's going to be tough to win.
Yeah, yeah, and the bustle always seems to come with a fastball that is very well placed, right? And that's what Gage Jump had tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He really attacked with the
Yeah,
fastball, kept us kept us off balance with his off speed stuff enough. But when he needed a strike and he needed a strikeout pitch, he was going back to that fastball, and that was something that we really struggled with. It seemed like tonight.
yeah, and I think his fastball has a little more life in it than the 92 that was registering on the gun most of the night. He
Hmm.
he has to have probably a very high spin rate, and it just seemed like, especially through the first couple of innings or first couple of turns through the lineup, that our guys were late on his fastball a lot. And so that tells me that they're seeing it, they're recognizing fastball, but it's just getting on them a little bit quicker than what they would expect it to. So Gage Jump, very impressive. I mean, the entire LSU pitching staff was good tonight, except for the guy that came in there in the top of the ninth.
Yeah, and you said we were 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Was that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we were 1 for 12 overall with runners on base, whether it be in scoring position or not. That's kind of the story of the game. Just kind of sitting here looking at the box score. We only ended up with 5 walks, and my Lord, we struck out a ton. Let's see, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 strikeouts this game as well for the Rebel offense. It was just really, really tough sledding for the guys at the plate.
Well, I mean, swapping gears a little bit to the offense, if you look, I think it was there in maybe the top of the second, it really felt like we had a shot to get to Gage Jump there, because you had Furness lead off, and then Groff laid out a nice bunt. You've got runners at first and second, nobody out, and it's feeling like here's some momentum coming. And then we go with a second bunt. I don't know. We haven't bunt much. We haven't bunt.
Man.
We haven't.
Just tell it like it is. I'm a never bunt guy.
Well,
I understand Groff got the bunt to get on base.
Well, the Groff bunt, he was bunting for a hit, right? Like, I mean, Groff, he was bunting for a hit. I don't even know if that was called. But what kills me about the decision is obviously Burford popped it up, and that sucks. But what kills me is that I would argue Burford's maybe been one of our hottest hitters over the last weekend and the previous few games. It's early in the game there, and I know that you're wanting to squeeze runs and manufacture runs early in the game, first and second, nobody out, get those guys moved over. I don't know if I would have I would have let him swing away there. It's easy to say that hindsight, right? He gets the bunt down, they move over, and we score. I look like an idiot for letting him swing away. But in that situation, I like Burford swinging the bat there.
No, I'm 100% with you. I'm all about letting him swing away right there. I'm not much for sacrifice bunts. I'm fine with a Groff bunt because there was a hole in the defense. He laid down the perfect bunt, was able to beat it out, get the beat the pitcher to the bag there to be safe, set up first, second. I thought another huge moment in the game was Luke Hill leading off the game with the walk and then getting doubled off by the line drive there. Not blaming Luke there. Right off the bat, I thought it was a shot to the gap. Just didn't get up over the shortstop, and Luke wasn't able to get back to the first base bag. After those two instances, though, with the first inning with Luke Hill getting doubled up, and then, like you talked about, getting 2 on and no out in the second inning, that was really about all of the threats from the Ole Miss offense up until the 9th inning where they end up walking a couple guys. So really need people to start stringing stuff together a little bit more here. There was a moment there in the game, I'm trying to think of what inning it was, 5th inning, something like that, where I texted you. We had gotten Birch on with a single, and I said, okay, 2 outs, Luke Hill up top of the lineup.
It's got to get going.
We need to start getting going a little bit with Hill and Fisher and Ross and those guys. And that's one thing they've been really good at the last couple of weeks. Just wasn't able to get it going this weekend or tonight against LSU. Andrew Fisher in particular really struggled. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. They had a plan against him, and boy, did they really attack it. Interested to see what Andrew looks like Friday, Saturday. Look, forecast isn't good for Friday, okay? So I'm surprised if we play at all. You're probably looking at a Saturday doubleheader if I had to guess. But interested to see what kind of adjustments he makes the next time up.
Before I forget to do this later in the show, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. His first at bat, whatever, game 2, first at bat, he hits a bomb. It feels like that. We've seen this from Andrew Fisher before. Like maybe he's had a tough Friday night or a tough Saturday, and then he'll come out on Sunday and he'll hit 2 bombs and have a double and 6 RBIs, right? And that's what you want to see out of the. I mean, right now in the lineup with Leger out, he is the guy in the lineup, and because of that, he's going to have nights like he had tonight where he doesn't see anything to hit. Now, saying that, going back to Riley Maddox in that bottom of the third inning, where it's nobody out, or no, one out, nobody on, and first pitch to Tommy White is a lazy get you over. Sorry, not the fifth inning, the third inning. Third inning.
Yeah.
Just a lazy get you over breaking ball. And I mean, he jumped all over it and got his first, career triple. Groff misplays it off the wall, but I mean, you're not in your home field. I get it, tough play.
It's a tough.
Why pitch to him? Why throw that pitch? And then you turn around to the next batter, Jared Jones, and it's the same thing. It wasn't the first pitch of the at bat, but it was a breaking ball, middle of the plate that he hit to score Tommy White. And at that point, it's 2-0, or maybe 1-0. I don't know why you pitched to those guys at that point.
Yeah, the one to Jared Jones was a mistake. That was a 2-2 pitch that he wanted to throw the breaking ball back outside because he had been chasing it earlier in the game up to that point. Didn't get it out enough, didn't get it down enough. It just hung right over the plate, like you said, up and in. He just absolutely smashed it there. But no, I totally agree with you. When it comes to Tommy White, Jared Jones, especially with nobody on base, you don't give them anything to get a barrel on. And that's one thing we did not do a good job of tonight. And
yeah,
really
I mean,
obviously.
Hey, we played good defense. We didn't play great. We didn't play great defense. We played good, solid defense. We made the plays that we're probably supposed to make. Hey, I thought Braden Jones came in and was a monster.
Fantastic.
Right? Yeah. He pitched very well. But skipping ahead to that fourth inning where Riley Maddox kind of unraveled a little bit, there was a play I want to ask you about. And for a little background, in the second inning, right, when they scored their first run, I want to ask you, when Trayson Hughes fielded that ball in right field, did you happen to notice that like, he wasn't in a throwing position? Like it wasn't like he was coming up to throw the guy out at the plate.
Yeah.
I don't know if he didn't have a shot or not. I mean, the guy was on second. I figured he would have had a shot. And then later in the game, in this fourth inning, there was one out, right, and the guy hit a ball, dropped in front of Trayson. And it looked like he may have had a play if he, lays out for it. It felt like Trayson Hughes was playing timid in the field, and that kind of surprised me. Now, later in the game, he did make a diving play, so maybe I'm just, full of shit. I don't know. It just felt like those were two plays that kind of, if they go the other way, right, and he makes that play in the fourth, it's 2 outs, nobody on. And it may be a different ball game. Not saying he would have even made it if he laid out. It just surprised me that he didn't make an attempt.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if it surprised you too.
Yeah. Going back and looking at so watching it live, I thought maybe he did have a play if he were to lay out for it. And I thought the same thing on the replay. I also think that maybe that is just a byproduct of how good he's been defensively all year, to where if it's in the air to right field, we expect Trayson just to get there and make a play no matter what. Who knows? Maybe he didn't get a good enough jump on it or something like that.
Could be.
Maybe he slipped off of the read or something. That's not something you're able to see on camera watching on TV, so that's perfectly possible too. But yes, my initial thoughts when the ball was hit, saw where it landed, I thought he would have been able to make a play there, but I don't know what all went into it right before that, though. So, but I do totally agree with you there. Another one that I was kind of bumfuzzled with a little bit, it was, I think, the third inning when they scored the one run. We had a runner, or they had a runner on first. We had a ground ball to Luke Hill with 1 out. It was a high bouncer. It was a tough play, all that, and he ended up getting the runner out at first. I thought he should have went to second to get the lead runner there to get 2 outs with the runner on first, 2 outs, runner on second. Ended up giving up a base hit for that runner to score there too. Was that something you noticed when that happened too? Maybe he should have gone to second to try to get that out. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember that one, but I mean, the way you're describing it is the play should have probably gone to second. and as you were sitting here talking, I was sitting here thinking, I was like, I don't necessarily remember that play, and it really doesn't even matter. Even the play that I talked about with Hughes and that play, it doesn't even matter because, I mean, LSU probably wins. Yeah, regardless, because I mean, Gage Jump was impressive. I mean, I felt helpless at the plate, right? And for the guys, it felt like AJ Causey against us or whatever. Just couldn't get it going. But one of the reasons that we wanted to hop on and do a quick show is to kind of go through the game, give our thoughts on it, but also to don't panic, right? It's a loss. We knew we needed to take 2. There's 2 games left. Look, and we have to come out whether it's tomorrow or Saturday. And I think we have to be aggressive against Hallman, and also have a good day on the mound from Liam Doyle as well.
Yeah, well, and one thing that I am encouraged about with the way this game ended up playing out, so we go Braden Jones, Mason Morris, both of them absolutely incredible. They did everything they needed to do. No issues there with either one of them. If you listen to our preview show, though, that came out last night, we talked about how LSU really struggles against left-handed pitching. Now, look, Luke Hallman is a legitimate ace in this league. He's really, really, really good. We have our work cut out for us on the offensive end. I think we are really going to put the pressure on LSU in game 2, whether it be Friday, Saturday, however the weather ends up playing out, with Liam Doyle. But also behind Liam Doyle, we have a freshman lefty that's pitching really well that we can bring in if we have to in Wes Mendez. We have 2 really good bullets against this offense to throw at them if we need to in that game 2, if it ends up being a close game. And look, if you take that second game, Ole Miss has the clear advantage going into game number 3 because LSU does not have a set Sunday starter. The bullpen, I know what we saw today, but the bullpen really, really struggles. And they did use 4 arms. No, none of them pitched just a whole lot of pitches that I saw. You got 1 inning Christian Little, 1 inning.
Did you recognize him?
Christian Little?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was a freshman 2 years ago at Vandy, and because when they said his name, and I thought, man, I know that name, and maybe Ben McDonald came out and he said Vandy, but I said, man, I knew that I recognized that name. He dominated us in the SEC tournament, didn't he? 2 years ago? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Absolutely did. No, you're fine. But the point I was making, they didn't throw a lot of pitches, but there is something to be said about getting hot and coming into a game and throwing max effort, depending when it's going to be played. Now, if this thing gets played on Friday, maybe there's a couple of those guys that aren't available, but this bullpen isn't really deep for LSU. They did end up throwing 4 arms against us, so that's one thing to keep in mind as well. Ole Miss still shapes up pretty well from here forward. Liam Doyle, Wes Mendez, Josh Mallett still haven't thrown Connor Spencer, right? We've got bullets left in the gun here, and then you get to that game 3 with Mason Nichols, right? I really like where we're sitting right now. Obviously, I would have loved to have won this game.
Man,
like you said, this isn't panic time. Stick with this team, believe in them. I still think we have a good shot of taking these next 2 and getting into the tournament.
Yeah, somebody just said in the chat he was 17 when he beat us. He was incredible that night. That's crazy.
He was actually 16 years old when he got to Vanderbilt.
What a loser.
What were you doing 16, Mitch?
Me?
Vince Van Lockenbach?
No, I was 18 when that happened, man. I went to big boy jail for that. I went to real jail for that. 16, man. I can't even tell you. Probably going to church somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, looking at the scoreboard around the SEC tonight, I think it's good news, bad news. Bad news is everybody except for the Rebels did their job tonight. You had State beating Missouri. You had Auburn beating Alabama, Tennessee and South Carolina, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Florida. Right. So if Ole Miss wins this game, it's huge. The good news is it stayed the same, right? That we're except for the LSU tying us in the standings. And, and the other good news, right, is that by Missouri losing, we're in the SEC tournament. That monkey's off our back. We don't have to worry about that. And so the next two games, let's start worrying about the seeding and that postseason berth. We've got to win these next two games, I think. I think because we lost game one, I think just winning game two or game three isn't good enough. I think we have to win both of them to make it to the postseason.
Oh, no, we absolutely do. We have to take these next two games if we have any aspirations of making it to a regional here. But again, I think we're set up pretty well going into game two with Liam Doyle. I think our bullpen's still set up very, very well to make a run here. So we're going to hang with them. Just need the offense to get going a little bit, right? Holloman's going to be a hell of a task coming up in game two. Grind our way through that one, win it, get to game three, and then you're back to having the advantage. So,
yep,
that's
I think so too, man.
The rest of the way.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking for a good day from Liam Doyle. Pitching, the way he pitches up in the zone with that high spin rate, getting guys to strike out, getting guys to pop out. And like you said, I mean, the offense has got to get going. Even with the other seven guys in the lineup maybe not being stars, LSU is going to score some runs with Tommy Tanks and Jared Jones right there in the middle of the lineup. So we're going to have to score. We're going to have to put runs up. And I think, like I said, I think we're going to have to be aggressive early against a guy like Hallman. You saw it with Gates Jump tonight. We had him on the ropes and kind of, let him, kind of let the bell ring and let him get to his corner and regain something. And he really settled in and was tough after that first inning. So I say that we go out and jump on Hallman quick tomorrow.
Yeah. So hopefully we end up getting this game in. The forecast doesn't look good at all. I think they've got flash flood warnings between now all the way through like 8 o'clock Saturday morning, something like that. Some storms and all hitting down there. But even if we don't get it in tomorrow, you're looking at a double header on Saturday. Real quick before we get out of here, my personal opinion on this, I want to see 2 9-inning double headers. I don't want 7. I think it benefits Ole Miss to play 2 9s because of the bullpen depth. I think we have a little bit more depth in the pen than they do. So I want these things to go 9 innings, and I think that kind of swings it in our favor. I don't want to see 2 7s.
No, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So, all right, y'all. Well, again, this is a real short show. We just wanted to hop on here real quick and give y'all our thoughts on game one, what it meant, and what to be looking for going forward. But Rebels aren't out of it. Disappointing ending, obviously, to game one. But we're going to, pick ourselves back up, and we're going to get ready for game two. And we're going to, I think we're going to take these next two, and we're going to get into the NCAA tournament. I'm not letting these guys down yet, so I'm gonna keep believing in them until then.
Yep, let's do it.
All right, bud. Well, we'll talk to you later, man. I appreciate everybody joining us, and
yes,
I'm sure we will talk to y'all here very soon. So, hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.